1 hour? Hey, ScouterStan. Want to thank you for coming back to the good old channel. This is the first episode of season 6, and we are going to have a lot of fun. We have all these subjects we're going to cover, so you don't want to miss a thing. So make sure that you subscribe and like and share and tell other people about us, okay? So you can get involved and help out the channel and get more information out there. Now today we're going to talk a little bit about scouting and all the time that it takes. Sometimes a lot of people are told at the beginning that scouting is only 1 hour a week. And that's just not entirely true. If you really put your effort towards it, you're going to have to plan a little bit, you're going to have to travel, you're going to have to do things to really put together a good program. Now, one of the wonderful things about scouting is it's all written down. There are meeting plans and it's all there to use. So it's very easy to rely on that 1 hour a week to really put together a decent program. But if you really want to put together a phenomenal program, and I know you do, you want to put a little effort towards it. So you want to read over your lesson, read over what's going on, and really put it together. Now, on average, most unit leaders will put in about 150 hours a year on just planning out the meetings, doing the meetings, going to the meetings. That's kind of how they do things. Now, we're not including all the extra stuff like campouts and camporees, summer camp, all that stuff. That's important too, so that's something to keep in mind. Remember to always plan your meetings. You want to plan your meetings so the meetings will come through correctly and get that information out there. Remember to utilize your assets. The assets of delegation. That's a big one. Now remember that when things go off the rail, it's how you handle it that counts. Now I'm going to put a video up there about burnout prevention. Make sure that you do the 5 things that's talked about in that video. Don't go there now. At the end, it'll come up again, and you can go there and learn how not to burn out on scouting. Do you know what highly trained scouts do when it starts to rain? They get wet. And what that means is that things happen. We can't control everything. Control what you can, but let things happen. In Cub Scouts, when I was a Cub Master, I was always concerned that I would mess up the song or something would go wrong or the skid or I'd call the wrong. The Cub Scouts loved it when the adults get up there and prove to them that they're human, okay, that we make mistakes. They think that's great. That's funny, okay? So, and that's the big thing about Cub Scouts. Same is true for older scouting too. One of the big mistakes that a lot of new leaders do is they try to plan every single moment. You can't. That's not possible and it becomes unfun. So don't do it. Plan in spare time so that you can do other things. And you want scouts to have an opportunity to be with their friends, to interact with other scouts. That's extremely important. In scouting, we don't call it goofing off. We call it fellowship. That's when you're playing cards or having a game, doing something that's not necessarily scout related, but it is a scout function where that camaraderie of their group, where they can get together and do things as a team, that's critical. Now, you will want to do all of the training for your position and have all that at your disposal. Now, some councils, some districts do it differently. Some districts are able to retain good leaders by recognition. They actually recognize them and thank them on a regular basis. Now, there's a lot of awards that are out there that districts can bestow on their leaders of their units. So that's something that they need to do on a regular basis. Your time in scouting is critical to the success of the unit and for the youth that are participating. It's really important that you have all that training and that you are recognized on a regular basis. Now, 67% of scouts are in scouting for 1 to 5 years. Now, typically this is the parent that has their own kids, their own sons and daughters that are actually part of the program. They stay in for their leadership to count towards just their kids and the other kids also. Now, another 28% will spend anywhere from 6 to 12 years as an adult leader. A lot of times this is because they start off at Cub Scouts and move over to a troop. So it kind of adds in the time that they're going to spend. If you're going to do all that training, you might as well make it worth it. Stick in there and make sure that you do the scouting dream, the leader's dream, that you want to see these young people succeed. And a lot of times this is not only their sons and daughters that are with the parent who's the adult leader, but they will also be all of their peers. So all of their peers that are in the unit, they're there for them too. Now there's about 4% that are known as lifetime. That lifetime is 13 to 20 years of an adult scout leader's activities. This is a generation. That whole generation that their kids were a part of is also part of your leadership. And at the end, you have these old timers, okay? 1%, that's all they represent. That 1% that were in as youth and continued on, okay? And they've been in there for 20 plus years. That's the old timer. And it's purely because they want to see it multi-generational. They want to see that those generations and those values are being taught to the new leaders. A lot of times the old timers, they're there to help other adult leaders. That's a resource, so keep that in mind. Now this season we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to talk more about leadership. We're going to talk more about all the fun facets of scouting. So definitely you want to hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Make sure that you can leave me comments and I'm there. If you're having a problem, let me know. If you have a suggestion for a show, let me know, okay? So that's all a part of this. And you're a big part of scouting. So I want you to know that you're not alone, that we can succeed. We can mold America's youth into a great group of individuals that can change the world. Now, we also have to keep our sense of humor. So I want to leave you thinking about something fun, okay? A lot of scouts call these dad jokes. I call them Scoutmaster jokes. That's something that we're going to do, one joke for every single episode. And I know you're gonna use these, okay? You're gonna be thinking about them. You're gonna use them. So the first one that I want you to really enjoy, if you can, here it is. Why did the orange lose the race? He ran out of juice. And with that, I'm going to leave it with you. I'm so glad to be back, and I'm glad you're here with me. Thank you so much for everything you do in scouting, and I will see you on the trail.